We all thought Hotel Transylvania 3 was the last of the franchise, as most movies end in their third installment. However, Hotel Transylvania begs to differ. Hotel Transylvania, Transformania, is the latest and fourth movie sequel to the well-known Sony Pictures animated film, and it finally wraps up the monster franchise with familiar fun. Well, we're not sure if the fourth movie is an official wrap-up yet, but we're guessing by now fans have realized that even though the main character's original voice, Adam Sandler, has left the movie, the franchise will still continue at their own cost. And yes, that's right, Adam isn't in the movie anymore, but we'll talk more about that later. The last thing you see before the title card for Hotel Transylvania, Transformania, drops at the end of the movie is a character shrugging with a smile as if to say, "It is what it is." It's a pretty good summation of the film itself. The fourth and final installment of a long-running 3D CG monster franchise. Transformania delivers what most viewers would expect from a Hotel Transylvania film: frenetic energy, physical comedy, and Dracula learning another lesson about acceptance. But apart from this moral lesson, what other Easter eggs, details, and references were hidden in the animated film? Well, you might need to rewatch the movie to notice it all. But if you don't have time to do that, then good thing you're here, because in today's video, we will be spilling some details and Easter eggs you might have missed in the story. But before any of that, we hope you're done watching the movie because this video will contain a lot of spoilers. Also, make sure to hit that subscribe button and smash that notification bell for more updates like this. Now, let's begin. The celebration that kicks off the action this time is Hotel Transylvania's 125th anniversary. Dracula, who watched beloved daughter Mavis, played by Selena Gomez, grow up within the walls of the establishment and is ready to hand her the reins so he can enjoy retirement with his new love, Ericka. Or so he believes. Dracula has faith in Mavis's capacity to keep things moving, but he has no faith in her human catastrophe husband, Johnny, to keep things operating smoothly. Because as the old saying goes, you can't truly know someone unless you walk a mile in their shoes. Drac and Johnny basically trade places, Drac becoming human and Johnny becoming a monster. In the case of Transformania, that mile is stretched into a journey through the South American rainforest. It's a setup that allows Drac to suffer from sunlight in the most extreme ways possible, among other things. Younger viewers who are already fans of the Hotel Transylvania film franchise will most likely find plenty to keep them entertained in this last edition. The amount of destruction the ordinarily silly but relatively harmless Johnny can wreak as a monster is remarkable, and viewing all of Drac's packed known monsters in their new human forms provides lots of easy chuckles. So, from a change of voices to a villain formula copied straight from a Disney movie, here are the details you may have missed in Hotel Transylvania 4. Dracula's change of voice wasn't entirely because of being a human, but because he really had a change of voice actor. One of the things that many fans might not have noticed in the film, because Brian Hull is so great at doing his Dracula voice, was that Adam Sandler wasn't actually in the movie. Yes, folks, that Dracula voice wasn't Adam Sandler's voice. Apparently, after Hotel Transylvania 3, Adam left the franchise. Sony announced in April 2021 that Sandler would not be returning as Dracula for the fourth film. Sandler was the executive producer for the first three films, but he has now completely stepped away from the franchise. Although Sandler has not commented on his reasons for leaving the Hotel Transylvania films, he reportedly signed a $250 million deal with Netflix in July 2020. The newly arranged deal will pull him into making films for Netflix and reportedly could take him away from Sony Pictures, his previous home. As of January 2022, Sony Pictures has not yet confirmed why Sandler left the franchise, but what we do know is that Brian Hull successfully preserved the role with the same vibe and energy. Hull has experience in the role, having previously voiced the character in the short film Monster Pets. Directors Jennifer Kluska and Derek Drymon said in an interview with the UK radio's Times that the film's storyline allowed them to make the change in actors. Drymon said, "The fact that he turns into a human was a good opportunity to do things a little differently. He could be a little different than he was in the movies, and it would be natural," Derek Drymon concluded. So, yeah, you may or may not have noticed Dracula's change of voice, perhaps because the creators made it a part of the storyline, or because Brian Hull was so good at his assignment. But the Dracula you watched in the last 3 seasons was different from the Dracula in Season 4. Someone in Dracula's inner circle could still doom the family as well as mankind. Dracula's family has been through a lot in the Hotel Transylvania series. Fortunately, as they've learned more about themselves, they were able to inspire others, which is why monster hunter Abram von Helsing redeemed himself and joined them in the third film. Ericka, his daughter, fell in love with the vampire, and the two became one huge family as a result. However, as Hotel Transformania came to a close, it became evident that Dracula's father-in-law's scientific ethics could potentially ruin the family. Abraham created a monster ray that worked both ways in this film. It changed Mavis's husband, Johnny, into a kaiju, as well as Dracula and his henchmen into humans. It then required a South American crystal, which prompted a risky voyage. Fortunately, they were able to recover it, repair the damaged ray, and return everyone. But it seems by the end of the movie that Abraham will never stop tinkering, whether it's with his body or with lethal gadgets, so hopefully he learns his lesson soon, or he'll pay a high price. At the end of the day, he's merely a mad scientist running unchecked, which is what led to his guinea pig destroying the hotel too. Are those torment forks? This is a little dark piece of detail, but you asked for it, so here it goes. During the party scene, there were forks and spoons at the table, but when you look a little closer, they aren't your typical fork and spoon. The spoons and forks used in the animated film were from torment tools used years ago. Also, the condiments and the food? Yeah, the only normal food there was cake. The scene was a representation of their monstrosity. Even though they are goofy monsters, they're still monsters. Hotel Transylvania 4 copied Encanto's villain formula, but did it better. One of the most intriguing aspects of Disney's Encanto was its lack of a traditional villain. Animated films normally have a villain, but this one had a sympathetic enemy in Mirabel's abuela, Alma. Transformania imitated this villain model, but the Sony film did it better by giving its character legitimate reasons to transgress. That doesn't mean Alma's representation in Encanto lacked depth. She wanted to preserve the miracle that was her family's magic, so they might use their powers to build their refugee enclave for years to come. It was odd how she made Mirabel the bad guy. It didn't suit what Pedro fought for before he died, and it didn't meet Alma's family values. Not supporting Mirabel and favoring the other grandchildren was forced drama, causing the teen pain. In the fourth Hotel Transylvania film, Dracula is the antagonist, lying to Johnny about how he could only pass the resort down to a monster by law. It drove Johnny to become a kaiju, while Dracula and his inner group became humans. So Dracula and Johnny headed to South America to acquire a crystal and mend the monster ray. It had greater sympathy and empathy. Johnny had a tendency to mess things up, and Dracula couldn't risk damaging his centuries-old hotel's legacy. He shouldn't have been so harsh, but the suspicion was justified. Stung by his father-in-law's betrayal, Johnny's emotions converted him into a more violent beast. Johnny felt like Mirabel, but he wasn't reliable or responsible, as his wife Mavis could attest. This made Dracula realize Johnny was a lovely guy with misplaced insecurities. After all, Johnny was a good father to Dennis and treated Mavis like a queen. Well, that's all for today. We hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and smash that notification bell for more episodes.